Hello and welcome to this training on Google Slides. In this training, we're going to spend some time on the basics of how you can use Google Slides and give you some tips and tricks to kind of help speed up the process of creating and sharing. I'm Lori Guion. I am the coordinator for Model Schools at BOCES. If you have any questions, please reach out at my email or on Twitter. So let's get into slide basics. We're really going to be talking about 4 different categories. We're going to be talking about adding text, adding backgrounds, how to add in images, and then some advanced features like adding in videos and different things along those lines. So let's get started on one. If you're watching this video, you might want to pause for a moment, open your Google Drive, click New, click on Google Slides, and then title your presentation. We'll pause here for a moment so you can do that. So here you are in your Google Slides that you've just opened. You have titled your slides. Here I've titled mine Sample Google Slides. And I have a basic layout that came up. Along the right-hand side, I have themes. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a Google Slides presentation together. If you know how to split screen, you can go ahead and do that now so you can have the video on one side and Google Slides on the other. If you don't, just know that you're going to have to toggle between the two different ones as we try different parts of our slides. So we're going to talk first about adding text. Your task and what you're going to try to do is to write a title, change the font for each word, add your name, change colors, and for a bonus, add a shape. So I want you to pause right now, try those on your own, and then we're going to walk through how to do them together. So pause the video and go try and do all 5 things that you see on your screen. So what I've done while I was waiting for you is I split my screen so I can see my task on the left and I see my slides on the right. Now I'm going to get rid of themes for now. I can always bring it back up. If I close it out, I can always bring those themes back up by clicking the Explore button at the bottom. The Explore button, if you've never explored it before in Google Slides, does help you with different layouts. It allows you to search for anything in your Google Drive and anything on the web. But our task was to write a title. So I'm going to call this Sample Google Slides. And then the next task was to change the font for each word. So I'm going to highlight the word sample. I'm going to go up into the toolbar where it says Arial. That's the font that it always starts with. I have the option to click on more fonts, and I can choose any font that I want from the list. I can organize based on types of fonts by popularity and what type of script that I would like it to be. So I'm looking for a handwriting font right now. I'm going to grab this one. And then I clicked OK, so it came back on and changed that font. Let's do that with the other ones. The next one said to add your name to the bottom box. And I'm going to change the font of that. And it also says to change the colors. So let's change the color for each of these words. So for sample, I'm going to go up to my toolbar. I'm going to make my screen larger so you get my full toolbar. I'm going to click on text color and I'm going to change it to whatever color I'd like it to be. And I'm going to do that with each word. The next one on our list said to change or to add a shape. So let's try that. So what I'm going to do is go back into full screen so you can see my screen. I'm going to go up to the toolbar and click on the shapes. And I'm going to choose a shape. This time I'm going to choose a circle. And I'm just going to drag it out into the center. I can change the shape of the box, or I can change the color of the box by clicking on the paint can. And I can change the border by clicking on the pencil, and I can change the border weight. I can also write in the box. So here I'm going to put in hello and welcome. I can change the order in which the words look. So I've got it left justified. I can change it to centered or right justified. I'm going to put it in the center. I can move it to the top of the circle, the center of the circle, or at the bottom of the circle, depending on what it is you're looking to do. You can also change the size of the font. And you can change again the font style, the size, and the color. The next thing on our list to do is to click that Explore button. Now again, when we were over in our sample slides, I was able to click the Explore button and it will allow me to start building my slides. Because I've added in the shape and I've already changed some things, it's not giving me some options on how to design the slides. But if I click the plus and I add a second slide, you're going to see those layouts start to show up, and you can click on any of those to design as you're going through. From here, we're going to talk about adding backgrounds. Now you can change your background to be colors. It could be a gradient color and you can make them pretty custom. You can add in images. You can change the layout on all your slides, put different ones on the background. And there's even ways to add in animated backgrounds. So let's take a look at those. I'm gonna go back into that practice slide deck. I'm gonna get rid of that Explore button and I'm on this second slide. I'm gonna go back to that first slide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on background at the top of my screen. If you don't see background, you're probably clicked within a word, on a word, so you have a different toolbar. You'll notice that this toolbar changes when I click away from any of the boxes. So make sure that you are just clicking on the blank white space to get to your backgrounds. You can choose any color. You can choose a gradient. So let's pick a gradient. Let's say I wanted it to be orange, but I wanted to make it more custom than that. I can click on custom. I can change that color orange to be something softer, maybe a softer blue. I can even add a second color and put in a different blue. I can change how much blue shows up on the page. I can change it from linear to radial. I can have it be center to top left, top right, bottom, however I want to choose to do that. And when I hit OK, that becomes your background. And if you like it, great, you're ready to move on. But let me show you some other ways you can add in backgrounds. You can choose an image by uploading using your camera, by a link address. So if you went out to Google, you can grab something, any of your photos within your Google Drive, or you can use a Google image search. So I'm going to do a Google image search and I'm going to put in slides template. And I might see some that I like, but it looks like there's a lot of ones that aren't going to work for me. So what I might put in is wallpaper. That's going to give me some different designs. You can see these get a little more creative. I can even choose a color. Maybe I want it to be pink. And I can choose one from here. If I find one I like, I click on it and I click insert. If this is great and I'm happy with it, I can keep it. If I want to change it, I go back to background, choose image again, and I can choose a different one instead. All right, once I have one that I really like, I can move on. But let's say I want to make this the background for all of my slides. I can click add to theme, and what it's going to do is it will, every time I add another slide, it will add this background to that slide. So that way I don't have to worry about finding that image again. All right, so when I click the plus, you can see that my background is already going to be that one that I had there. Now, if you want animated ones, this is kind of an advanced feature. So I'm going to talk about this briefly, but we'll come back to it at the end. You'd have to go out to a Google search. I can type in dancing or whatever it is I'd like to look at. Go to images. I can go to tools. I'm going to go to type and type in GIF. When I do that, I'm going to find all sorts of dancing ones that I might like. If I like it, I click copy or right click on it to copy the image address. I come back into my slide. I'm going to come back to that first slide. I'm going to click insert image by URL and paste that image in. And then I'm going to just insert it as an image on my slide. And we're going to play around with this a little bit more in a little bit, but I'm just going to put it there for now as a placeholder. You can certainly drag it out to be your background. That is up to you. So the next thing we're going to look at is adding images. And you saw me do one when I was doing the little GIF that we put in there, but we're going to click on an image and add in a picture or two and talk about shapes. And we're going to edit using some of the format options. So I'm going to go back into my slides. I'm going to go to a blank slide just so I can have a clean slate. Now I have some text boxes on here and I'm only going to be using images on the slide. So I want to get rid of those text boxes. I can click on each one and hit delete, or I can go up to the top where it says layout and I can click blank and it gets rid of them all for me. So now I'm going to pick some images. I can click on the mountain little icon on the toolbar, or click on insert, go to image, and choose where I want to pull that picture from. I'm going to use the search the web. What it's going to do is it's going to open up the explore feature on your right, and it's going to allow you to search for images. So I'm going to put in elephant. And I'm going to find all of these great pictures that I might want to use. So I'm just going to pull this one of the elephant and I'm going to drag it in. Now I love this picture, but I only want the elephant. I've got a couple things I can do to edit it. I can double click on the image and I can drag in the edges where you see that black bar around it, and I can scrunch it down. When I hit return, it's going to go away. And what that does is it allows me to get rid of some of the extra stuff that I don't want around the pictures. So now let's say I have this picture, but I want it to be a circle. I can go up where it says crop image and click the little down arrow next to it where it says mask image. I'm going to click on shapes and I'm going to make it into a circle. Now I've got this perfect circle that I can now drag and make smaller or make larger by grabbing the corner. Now let's say I want to find an image, but I want it to be transparent. And what I mean by that is I don't want it to have a background on it, so that way my whatever I have on the screen kind of pops. So I'm going to grab this one, see what this one looks like. All right. So I've got this image of the elephant again, but you'll see that it has no background. Again, I can choose to mask the image and make it into a circle. If I can click it, here we go. But it's really not going to change much around it because it's a transparent image. But I can, if I wanted to, make this line actually show up. So then I can have the elephant inside the circle. All right. Probably wouldn't do that on this one, but I certainly could. So I've added in some different images and we've cropped them. All right, so the only thing we didn't do on the list yet was add a video, and we'll come back to that one in a moment. If you haven't paused to try any of those features, go ahead and pause the video and try to add in some images. So we're going to take a look at some of the other advanced features, and we're also going to put in that video that we talked about. We're going to put in some word art, add a table. We're going to add a diagram. We're going to draw something using the line tool. We're going to add in some symbols, and we're going to add in some transitions. So again, I'm going to split my screen so that I can see what I'm supposed to do a little bit easier. I'm going to pull those slides back down so I have it side by side. So the first thing it said to do is to add word art. So again, I'm going to take this slide that I'm working on. I'm going to change the layout to blank. I'm going to go up to insert, and I'm going to go to word art, and I'll type in the word art. All right, it puts it up on your screen. You can change the font to be anything, any font that you have. Again, if you need to find a font, you can click on more fonts to grab one, and you can pick any font that you're interested in having. All right, so once you find a font, you can click the fill to add in a fill color. Again, you can add a border, and you can choose how thick that border happens to be. Now, if you wanted this word art to be larger, all you have to do is stretch it out. Or if you want it smaller, just stretch it in. If you want it to be longer or fatter, you can do anything you'd like with it. Now, the other thing is, if I double click back in it, if you want these words to stack on top of each other, click Shift and Enter, and then the words will stack on top of each other. All right, the next thing it said to do is to add in a table or a chart. So I'm going to click on Insert. I'm going to click on Table, and I'm going to put in a 3x3 grid. And what's nice about these grids is this would be a great place to put in your choice boards, is to build this grid and then fill it with whatever it is you'd like to put in each of those squares. So I've just added in a grid there. All right, I'm going to click a new slide just so it's not messy for you. And I'm going to show you the line tool. Up at the top, I have a line tool. I can click next to it and I can see that I have lines, arrows, elbow connectors, curves, polylines, scribbles. I'm just going to grab a line and I'm going to draw one. And you can move this line anywhere you'd like. You can adjust it because I made mine a little crooked. You can put it anywhere you'd like, and then you can use it as a timeline, whatever you'd like to do with it. You can change the thickness of the line. So if you want it to be thicker, then you can really see how crooked I am there. And you can kind of gauge around based on however you'd like to put that line on your screen. You can also add in different things with a bulleted list. So I'm just going to delete this one out, grab a text box. And let's say I want to make a list of items. I'm going to click the three dots just to get my bullets. And I'm going to write elephant, deer, dog, cat. All right, so I've started to make my list. If I right click on the actual here, let me make it bigger so you can see it a little bit better here. So I'm going to change this from 14 to 30. If you click on the bulleted list, right click on that bulleted list, you can click on more bullets and you can get all sorts of different sizes, shapes, colors. You could do arrows, you could do musical notes, you could do stars, whatever it is you're looking to do, you can add in, and it's going to change all of your fonts to be, all of your bullets to be whatever it is you chose. The other thing you can do is add in transitions. So let me just make this screen big since the last one we're going to do on this one. And I've got this box of different things on here. I might have added in an image. So let me just grab another elephant here. With my elephant, maybe I want him facing the other way. So I can click on Format, Size and Rotation, and flip him. And then maybe I want to duplicate him. So I'm going to hit Control D. I'm going to make a second one. And I'm going to put him over here and flip him back. So I've got two on my screen. I still have my words in the center here. And now I'm going to add in some transitions for my whole Google Slides. So I'm going to go up to Transition. I'm going to click on whatever transition I would like it to do, how fast or slow. I can apply to all slides. If I click on an object, I can add animation to that object, and I can have them zoom in, zoom out, spin. I'm going to have it go after previous. I could choose how fast or slow. Again, I could do it with each of the words. Add an animation. I can have it fade in, after previous, or by paragraph. And then when I hit play, now I have all of my transitions that are going to happen on the screen. And you can choose to do this with whatever it is you'd like to do on each of the slides. So on the one that I just did, on the one with the elephants, this might be a fun one to have the elephants do different objects or different ways that they fly in. And we'll have this one fly out and change that after previous. And again, with the words, I can add an animation. I'm going to have it disappear. And when I hit play, different things are going to happen on the screen as it goes to different parts. Okay. So some fun ways to use your slides. You can use it to create templates, inserting videos, watching, adding in directions. I didn't show you the video. That's the one I forgot. So let's do that real quick. All right, we're here on this last slide. Again, I'm going to change the layout to blank because I want it to just have nothing on it. I'm going to click on Insert Video. I'm going to search YouTube, girls first ski jump. All right, I'm going to grab that video, hit select. I've got her video on here. Let's say I want to speed it up so it's not like starting right at the beginning. I can choose for it to start at like 30 seconds if I want it to start there. And then maybe I want it to end right at the end because she's pretty excited at the end. I can click autoplay so that way when I put this in present mode, it's immediately going to play this video. So I'll put it in present. It's going to start 30 seconds in. You'll see how the time did that. And now it's counting down to the end. You can also use your Google Slides to create writing types of paper, like for writing prompts, and that would just be changing the shape of your slides. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change this, and this one will get a little messy because I have things on it already. You probably want to set up your paper ahead of time, but if I click on File, Page Setup, I can change it to be a custom, and I can change it to 8.5 by 11. Click Apply, and then you can change your slides to be more like paper, and then you can organize it that way. I'm going to share some resources with you for HyperDocs and some other ideas. But for right now, if you have questions, please reach out. I'm happy to help. Again, you can watch this video over and over, do whatever you'd like as far as stopping and starting, trying everything out. But reach out if you have any questions. And there is your quick review of Google Slides.